Hi everyone, I have a very exciting video for you. So I got a couple Szmal watercolors and I've never tried the brand before, but I heard really good things. And so I got 12, which is kind of a lot. I have a palette that has enough slots to put in these colors, so I think what we'll do is unwrap these, write the names. I have a Sharpie right here, write the names on the pans themselves, and I will put them in that palette and swatch those with you. I also have a pan, a tube of the Holbein Bright Rose. I got this after Elite talks about it all the time, so I decided to buy this when Holbein was having their sale. I got everything from Jackson's, and I think I'll have enough space for a half pan or a full pan of this one in my palette as well. I'll go grab the palette momentarily, but for now, let's unwrap these pans. I have never bought pans, full pans. I've only gotten either a set, a palette, or tubes. And if you're interested, I can certainly do a video. Wow, I'm having such a hard time. I'm like trying not to break this packaging, but I think I might have to. Okay, so I was able to just peel this off. And one thing that I did before this video is I put these pans in the freezer for like a couple hours, because I've heard from other people that this sheet of paper wants to stick to the paint, and it is kind of sticky. I believe it is honey based. I could be wrong. So that's why I put the pans in the freezer. My husband thought I was crazy, but it seems to have done the trick, and they came off pretty easily. So I have Hansa Yellow Medium, I believe. And this one is Aquarius Brown. So I got a couple of the Aquarius colors because I think that's their kind of specialty colors, and I'm very excited to try them. I'll have to save the wrapper somehow because, yeah, I do plan to write the color back on there. So Aquarius Brown, and this one is Quinacridone Pink. So I have Quinacridone Rose and Magenta, but I don't have a Quinn Pink. I think it's the same pigment, so I'm not sure really how different it's gonna be, but it is a color that I use often. See, like this one is very sticky, and a lot of paint is coming off. Wow. Okay. So I will be swatching with what's on this wrapper because I don't want to waste any paints. So I was talking about how I don't have, this one's Nickel Azo Yellow, one of my favorite colors. It'll be interesting to see if this has a whoosh effect like the Daniel Smith ones have, because that's one of the reasons why I love Nickel Azo Yellow, is because of that effect. So oh, I was saying that I only have paint tubes because I think it's just more economical, and I usually I have both 15 and 5 mil. I think, you know, 5 mil goes a long way, and 15 is obviously a better deal. This one's Aquarius Orange. I'm not a huge orange person. I don't have a lot of orange paints in my collection just because, you know, I feel like you can always mix your own orange if you want. But I heard good things about the Aquarius Orange. So excited to try that. Oh, that's another one that's kind of sticky. And so I think these are the first pans that I have ever bought. Anthracenoid Red is the next one. PR177. I do not have this pigment anywhere in my collection, so that'll be exciting to try. Next up, I have these two, and they look very similar on the packaging, so I hope they're not as similar in real life, because that would be annoying. And so this one has, okay, the pigment is very similar too. So I have Misty Morning, which is PG50 and PV19, and Shadow Violet, which is PG50, PB29, and PB19. So this, it just has an extra pigment. So I probably didn't need both, but here we are. So it's another one that's really sticky. So I don't know if this is helpful or, you know, exciting to watch. I like watching these videos where people show their new paints and swatch them, so I find that helpful. This one's the Shadow Violet. But you should definitely let me know if you find it interesting. I'll try to speed through the parts that where I'm not talking. Okay, they look different in the pan, but I'll definitely swatch them to let you know how similar they are. And the pans themselves are not labeled in any way, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I don't see any sort of writing, so you definitely want to label them, because you know, with these two paints that might look similar, you want to know what's what. So Cobalt Blue Deep is the next one. I've used Cobalt Blue, but not sure what makes it deep. So this is PB74, which I'm not familiar if that's the cobalt pigment. That is the regular cobalt color, but we'll see if it is similar to the regular cobalt. And so next up we have Cobalt C Blue. It is, I was gonna get the Cobalt Teal because that's probably my favorite color in watercolors, but I was like, okay, you have so many Cobalt Teals. I have one from Core, which is my favorite, one from Daniel Smith, which is very similar. They granulate in slightly different ways, but they're very similar to each other. So I figured get something that's a little bit different. So this is PB28, which is the pigment, I believe, that's also in this one. Am I right? Let's see. Yeah. Oh no, that's PB29. So, but I'm excited to see whether it is similar to the Cobalt Teals that, sorry, I was off camera, that I usually get, or if it's any different. Okay, last two. And the Cobalt Teals that I usually use from Core, I believe, is PG50. So this is Aquarius Green, and I believe it's multi-pigment, yep, PY150, PBR25, and PB29. I really like the granulation colors. The paints that have granulation is usually my favorite to work with. And so excited to try this green. And the last one that I have is Aquarius Gray. I don't think I've had a gray color ever. Usually I just, you know, dilute a brown, dilute a black, or mix an orange and a blue colors together. So this will be interesting. It is, where's the pigment? Oh, PW6-1. So that doesn't sound right if it's just a white pigment. We will see. That's certainly very interesting. I feel like that should have more than just PW6:1. But anyway, these are the 12 colors that I have. I will be writing down the names and the brand on the pan so I know what they are, and then we'll swatch them together. So I'll be right back. So I'm back. The pans are all labeled, and I'm going to do the swatches next. Sorry for the squeaky chair, if you can hear that. And I'll try to make the swatches big so you can see them very well. So the first is Hansa Yellow Medium, and we'll see if these paints re-wet well. So that is a yellow color. I don't know. I feel like I'm not very picky with yellows. They all, other than the nickel azul yellow, I feel like the yellows they tend to be kind of similar. I don't use it a whole lot by themselves other than mixing. So next is nickel azul yellow. Okay, that is very similar to what I would expect from nickel azul yellow. And the paper that I'm using is Fabriano Studio Watercolor, so it's nothing fancy, but it gets the job done. Aquarius Brown is next, and this definitely re-wets very well. Okay, so it looks like some sort of like a lunar earth color, which I really like. I am just recently more appreciative of brown colors. I think they have, I'm a bright color lover, so I haven't used a whole lot of browns, but I really like this one. Next is Aquarius Orange. So and I'm not sure if you can see, but this is a very transparent orange. Am I in? No, I cannot. That's better. So a very transparent orange, which I really like. So hopefully the swatches are big enough that you can see them. Next up, I have a anthracite red, which I'm very curious about this one because I've never used this pigment. I think I said PR 177. Okay, so it's cooler than I expected, actually. It's a very nice cherry red color. Next up, I have Quinn Pink, and I have so much on the sticker, so I think I'll just use that on this sheet of paper because I don't want to waste any. So even though this is PR 122, I believe, I can definitely tell there's a difference between what I usually use, which is Quinn Rose. This is a bit cooler in tone. So next one is, where are we? We are at Misty Morning. So this is the 3 pigment mix. And I did not write the pigment number on the pan because I know I can always just look it up on, oops, I dropped a little bit in the Quinn Pink. I can always look it up on the internet, on Jackson's website, or yeah, that's where I'll most likely look. So that's why I did not bother with writing the pigment number in case I make a mistake. You know, I don't want to have to question that. So that is Misty Morning. You can definitely see the granulation of, I think, PB29 and coming through. So that's really, really pretty. This is one that I was really excited about. Moving the paper up a bit. Can you see? Yes. Next one is Shadow Violet, which I'm eager to see how similar or different it is from the Misty Morning. So the way I decided to get these paints is I was watching a lot of swatch videos, and these two seemed really different. I mean, obviously they're similar, and so that's how I decided to get both. And I would say they're different, but you know, I definitely prefer the Misty Morning more. It's just a lot more interesting, and like I said, I love the granulation. This, what was it? A Shadow Violet is a lot darker, so they could go very well together. And if you want a darker tone of the Misty Morning, you can definitely use Shadow Violet. So next one, we have Cobalt Blue Deep. So this is such a gorgeous cobalt color. Do I need to move my paper? Cobalt Blue Deep. Okay, so it's a gorgeous cobalt color. It's a bit more purple than the regular cobalts, I think, but I love the granulation in this one, so I'm very happy about it. I wasn't sure whether I wanted it because I don't use cobalt blue very much, but this granulation is gorgeous. So the next one, I think this is the one that I'm probably the most excited about, is the Cobalt C Blue. And it just has the potential to be my favorite color. So it is bluer than I expected. I guess it's because it's not a cobalt teal. It's not a PG 50. It is a PB 28. Yeah. So, but I love the granulation in here. I am sure I will use it a lot. And next up, I have Aquarius Green, which was a 3 pigment mix, but that doesn't bother me. I know there are people who prefer their pure pigments. So, oh, that has a lot of water on it. My bad. So it's kind of a olive green, but less warm. It has more green than a olive green has. So last one, which I'm the most curious about because it supposedly only has one pigment, which is a PW6:1, but it is such a gray color. So this is a Aquarius Gray. That is, well, that's definitely gray. But I still, well, maybe I should look up what PW6:1 is, because it's, yeah. It has a little hint of like warmth to it, a little bit of brown, but it's very interesting. It reminds me of like concrete or something. So, the next thing I want to do is, I'm curious if the nickel azole also pushes the paint. So I'm going to do, let's try this anthraquinoid red. I'm just going to do a little dab in here, and we'll see if the nickel azole yellow also pushes it like the Daniel Smith one does, because that's one of my favorite features of that pigment, of that, so, it doesn't really do that. Yeah. If anything, the red is pushing the the nickel hazel yellow. So that is a little bit disappointing because I really like, so I think I have it right here with me, the nickel hazel yellow that I use. It's in this palette right here. So I'll just try that on this red and see. Hopefully it'll show you the whoosh effect that I'm talking about. Yeah, so can you see that it's just pushing the paint in? So that, I love that about this, the Daniel Smith Nickel Hazel Yellow, and it's just so interesting. It makes the painting very different. So it's a little disappointing that the Roman Szmal Nickel Hazel Yellow doesn't do that. So that is all the swatches, and I'm going to put this in my palette that has the 24 slots. I have it right here with me. It's this palette. I have just some loose paints. Oh, this one. I have some loose paints in here that I had squeezed out earlier. I think it was last year, actually, like last year summer. And there are just random paints. I have a Cobalt Blue in here and a Prussian Blue, but I think I'll put them in here in an order that makes sense, and then we'll see if I can squeeze the bright pink in here. I already have a opera pink, bright opera from Mission Gold, but maybe we can do a quick comparison of those as well. So I will be right back. So I have apparently plenty of space. I didn't realize I can fit 7 on each row. I thought it was 6 for some reason. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But yeah, I'm able to fit 7 in each row. So I definitely have a lot more space. So I have the bright rose from Holbein that I'm going to put in here. And we can do a quick comparison with the bright opera from Mission Gold. I'm not going to do a whole pan because just in case, and this isn't a palette that I use often, so I'm just gonna do a little dab. And the rest of the paints that are in here, some are just like the last little bit of tubes, but I just have a tiny little bit left. So, but this is a palette that I'm gonna have to use a lot more now that I have my Roman Szmal paints in here. So let's do a quick swatch of, let me try and find a piece of paper. Can we fit it here? We might be able to. And I hate this flat part. It just takes up so much space. So I'll have to get rid of it. But until then, you have to trust me with which paints I am swatching, because I have it off to the side. So first off is Mission Gold Bright Rose. And I love using the bright colors, even though they are fugitive. But I think it is, it's worth it. And I'm all about instant gratification, so I don't really care that much. For works that I do sell, I spray them with a archival spray from Golden. And next up, so that is the Mission Gold. And next up is from Holbein. And I'm just dabbing a little bit in the wet paint that I just squeezed out. So that is a lot darker than I expected. Very interesting. I wonder how the camera is showing. It's more of a violet than a pink. But hopefully you can see how bright it is. So yeah, that is everything from me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have Roman Szmal paints, because I have 1, 2, 3 spots. Maybe if I really like the paints, we'll see. I could get more, or I can just squeeze out 3 more half pans to put in this pan and make it a more complete palette. I might do that. For me, there are a lot of reds in this palette, and not as many blues. I use a lot of blues in my painting, so I may have to fix that. But yeah, I hope you found this video helpful. Let me know what your favorite Roman Szmal color is. I am very excited to try all these paints, and I'll see you next time. Bye.